There are massive travel changes hitting in 2026, and most people have no idea they're coming. I'm talking about stricter rules, new airport technology, and airline policies that will catch millions of travelers off guard. And some of these changes are already rolling out quietly. So if you're flying next year, you need to hear this. Because the truth is, airports and airlines are preparing for a very different kind of travel in 2026. New liquid rules, facial scan boarding, tighter carry-on checks, cashless terminals, and a few surprises that are going to make people angry at the airport gate. So today, we're counting down the 15 biggest travel changes of 2026 that will affect everyone, whether you fly once a year or every month. Let's start with the one change that will confuse travelers more than anything else. Number 1. New liquid rules you won't see coming. The liquid rules in 2026 are going to confuse travelers more than anything else. Some airports are dropping the 100 milliliter limit completely because they've installed the upgraded CT scanners. Others are only dropping it for certain lanes. And some airports aren't changing anything at all. So you could easily fly out with full-size liquids, think everything is fine, and then have them taken away on the way home because the next airport still follows the old rules. The tricky part is that this won't be consistent worldwide. A few major airports will change early, others won't change until much later, and a handful aren't planning to change at all. The safest approach for 2026 is simple. Unless you absolutely know your departure and return airports have the new scanners, keep using travel-size bottles. Otherwise, you're playing airport roulette. Number 2. Facial scan boarding becoming standard. Airlines love facial scan boarding because it gets everyone onto the plane faster, and in 2026, they're planning to use it for most flights by default. A lot of travelers are going to walk up to the gate, see the camera pointed at them, and have no idea what's happening. It feels strange if you've never done it before. What many people don't realize is that you can still opt out. If you're not comfortable with it, you can simply say, "I'd prefer to use my passport," and they'll check you in manually. But because airports are moving away from traditional boarding checks, the default will be facial recognition. So expect more cameras, fewer staff at the gate, and a lot of confused travelers wondering why the machine knows their face. Number 3. Carry-on size and weight crackdowns. If you're used to stuffing your carry-on until the zipper is begging for mercy, 2026 is not going to be kind. Airlines have realized that enforcing size and weight at the gate makes them a ridiculous amount of money, so they're cracking down hard. Bags that people have taken on for years without an issue are suddenly being flagged as oversized or overweight. Gate agents are checking more bags than ever, and when they tell someone a bag doesn't fit, it's either getting checked or it's getting hit with a last-minute fee. This is happening even with airlines that used to be relaxed. Travelers are not expecting it, and it's going to cause a lot of drama at boarding time. If you keep your bag genuinely within the size and weight rules, you'll avoid the surprises. Number 4. AI security lanes that catch everything. Security lanes are getting smarter, not slower. The new AI scanners can identify small items you forgot you even packed. People are already arguing with security because they swear something wasn't in the bag, but the machines don't guess. If it's in there, they'll find it. In 2026, you'll see more bags being pulled aside for things like snacks, tiny batteries, random tools, old liquids from last year, or even objects buried deep inside a pocket you forgot existed. The technology is improving faster than the public realizes, and more airports are upgrading their machines. The result is fewer long lines, but more bag check required moments that slow individuals down. It's going to cause shock for anyone who packs messy. Number 5. Airport lounge access getting harder. Overcrowded lounges have finally hit their breaking point. In 2026, more lounges will introduce digital reservations, time limits, and restrictions during peak hours. Even premium lounges are turning people away because too many travelers now have lounge access through credit cards and memberships. You'll see signs that say, "Priority pass not accepted right now," far more often. Some lounges are even testing systems where you have to spend a minimum amount inside the lounge to stay longer. It's becoming less of a quiet getaway and more of a hope you get in situation. If you rely on lounge access to survive long flights, 2026 is going to be a tougher year. Number 6. Airlines quietly cutting in-flight service. Airlines aren't announcing it, but travelers will feel the changes. In 2026, many airlines are reducing what they offer on short and medium flights. You might notice fewer drink runs, smaller snacks, reduced meal options, and fewer cabin crew working the flight. This isn't the crew's fault. It's a cost-cutting strategy airlines know passengers won't fully notice at first, but regular travelers will feel it quickly. People will think the airline is just having a bad day, but the truth is that this will become normal. Bring water, bring snacks, and don't expect much unless you're in premium seats. Number 7. Cashless airports becoming normal. More airports around the world are removing cash completely. They're switching to tap-only payments, digital-only food ordering, and even cashless vending machines. This is great for speed, but terrible if you show up with only cash or a card that doesn't tap. This trend is already growing in Europe and Asia, and now major airports in Australia and the US are joining in. In 2026, it'll be common to walk into an airport and find that every single shop and cafe is card-only. Travelers who only carry cash are going to be caught out, especially older travelers or people arriving from countries where cash is still normal. Carry at least one working debit or credit card with tap because cash won't help you. Number 8. Digital visas becoming the new normal. More countries are switching to digital entry systems, and 2026 is the year a lot of travelers get caught out. For decades, people were used to just showing up with a passport and walking through immigration. But more and more destinations now require a digital visa, pre-arrival form, or online approval before you even get on the plane. If you forget to do it, the airline can stop you from boarding right there at the gate. This isn't just happening in Europe. Countries in Asia, the Middle East, and parts of South America are moving to the same system. Travelers who don't check entry requirements will end up scrambling at the airport trying to apply on their phones with terrible Wi-Fi. In 2026, you really need to check the rules for every country you pass through, even if you're just connecting. Number 9. Emotional support animal rules. Tightening again. The rules for emotional support animals have already changed in the last few years, but 2026 is the year they tighten even further. Airlines are getting stricter about documentation, behavior requirements, and what types of animals they'll allow on board. Some carriers are removing emotional support animals entirely and only accepting trained service animals. Travelers who assume their airline will just let it slide will be in for a shock at check-in. If your paperwork isn't perfect, or if the animal doesn't meet the updated rules, the airline will deny it at the counter. This is going to be a big issue for people who aren't aware the rules changed again. Number 10. Earlier airport arrival times becoming standard. 2 hours used to be plenty. 3 hours was considered extra safe, but 2026 is pushing the whole schedule forward. Major airports are already recommending arriving much earlier, even for domestic flights, because security lanes are busier, the new machines require more supervision, and lines for check-in are getting longer at peak times. Airlines aren't advertising this, but they're quietly updating their websites, and travelers who show up last minute are going to miss flights. By mid-2026, arriving 3 hours early will be normal for many airports, and some international terminals are even recommending 4 hours during busy seasons. Number 11. Airport junk fees, returning under new names. Airlines have realized that customers hate the word fee, so they're rebranding them. Instead of calling them seat fees or luggage fees, they're inventing new names that sound like they're giving you an upgrade. Things like preferred boarding choice, comfort seat selection, or express gate handling. But in reality, these are just the same old fees dressed up differently, and some of them are increasing. Travelers will be shocked when they book a ticket that looks cheap, only to realize the add-ons cost more than the flight. 2026 is the year where understanding what's included becomes more important than ever. Number 12. More sensitive checked baggage scanners. Slowing things down. The machines that screen checked bags are being upgraded, and they're far more sensitive than previous versions. This means more bags being flagged for further inspection, even when you packed everything perfectly. Something as small as a random battery in a side pocket or a forgotten bottle of lotion in your shoe can cause your bag to be pulled aside. Travelers will notice that bags take longer to arrive at the carousel, and sometimes they'll show up with a note saying the bag was opened for inspection. It's not personal. It's just the new scanners catching every little thing. Number 13. Stricter rules for power banks and batteries. Power banks have always had limits, but in 2026, airlines are finally enforcing them. If your battery is above a certain watt-hour limit, It won't be allowed in your carry-on, and it definitely can't go in checked luggage. Many travelers don't know what watt hours even are, and that's going to cause arguments at security. Airlines are becoming more cautious after a rise in battery incidents, so expect more checks at boarding and more travelers being told their charger can't fly. The safest option is to buy a power bank that clearly shows the watt hours printed on the outside so you don't get stuck. Number 14. Route cuts. Making some destinations harder to reach. A lot of airlines are trimming their route networks to save money, especially long-haul routes that aren't profitable. This means fewer direct flights, more connections, and higher prices to popular places that used to be cheap. Travelers will think prices are going up for no reason, but the real reason is there are fewer planes serving those cities. If you have a dream destination in mind for 2026, book early because seats will go fast. Number 15. Quiet boarding becoming more common and more confusing. Airports are trying to cut down noise pollution, so many of them are switching to quiet boarding. This means fewer announcements, no more yelling gate numbers over the speakers, and sometimes no boarding calls at all. Travelers who rely on hearing their zone called will miss flights because they didn't realize boarding had started. Everything will move to screens, push notifications, or small signs at the gate. If you're someone who likes to wander around the terminal, 2026 might be the year you actually need to stick close to the gate